How's everybody doing today? So when it comes to negative self-talk, I talked about it before where you need to basically say I am or be whoever it is that you want to be, and saying I'm broke and that type of stuff will put you or leave you in a state of lower vibration. And what happens is when you do raise your vibration, or you're trying to raise your vibration, or you're working on it, you'll get into conversations with people that'll try to bring you back into it. So this happens for multiple reasons. One is you're getting tested. Two, it's trying to see, or it's trying to bring you back to the state of your vibration that you're normally set at. So it's always trying to bring you back to like core, kind of like the core programming. And because you're basically altering reality, so it's trying to bring you back to the core programming. There's multiple reasons why when you raise your vibration, so many different things happen, and you're making monumental changes around you, around the universe, within yourself, and it always has there's a tension there that's always trying to fight back to keep you from moving forward. So when someone says, "Hey, why don't you have such and such?" and then your response is, "Well, I'm broke." That puts you back into the vibration of you're broke by having that response. But if you say, "I'm abundant," and they're like, "Huh?" They raise their eyebrow at you. It's like, no, your car's broke down and you don't have any money. What do you mean you're abundant? That's where when you get in you got to be cautious about who you have conversations with, because then your brain is trying to struggle to maybe explain to them or not explain to them what's actually going on in your spiritual journey. And you don't need to like I said, you don't need to tell everybody what you're doing. It's not their place to make you explain what it is that you're doing on your spiritual journey. But those types of conversations do kind of try to bring you back in. And I catch myself all the time doing it. It's like, "Oh, you live in such and such place," or "You lived in such and such place," and I'm like, "Yeah, because I was broke." I mean, even though I use the term past tense of was, it still has that. It brings that emotional state back of the reality that's where I was, right? So you want to keep the positive affirmations and the higher vibration always there. So you got to be cautious about who you have conversations with, because then your brain is trying to explain to them what's going on, and it's going to sound weird to them. And it may even sound weird to yourself. It's like, why am I explaining this? I'm getting confused in what I'm trying to say. So sometimes it's better just to avoid certain conversations altogether, or stay away from people that will carry you back into the old paradigm. And it could be your closest family members that do this. And they'll ask you, they say, what they'll even might even have a negative reaction to it. It's like, I don't think you're taking care of yourself. I don't think you're taking care of yourself. You're being weird, and you lost your job, and I'm really concerned with you. You need to really step up to the plate. You really need to look for a good paying job and start working hard. You can't explain to them and say, "No, I'm on a spiritual journey." Can't do that. Sorry. "What do you mean you're crazy? I'm going to call the doctor. There's something wrong with you." And in your mind, you're thinking no, something's wrong with you, because you're thinking I'm crazy for trying to be, spiritual. So, and they don't understand that the process of that is going through these extremes that to other people may seem ridiculous or crazy. But though, you don't have to explain to them. Like I said, it's not you don't have to do anything. You don't have to explain them crap. If they can't deal with it, then they can't deal with it themselves. or maybe you respect them enough to say, hey, listen, I'm on a spiritual journey, and if I do that, my health is gonna suffer a lot, and that's just the way it is, and I can't tell you any other way. It's hard to explain, such and such. You may not understand it, but this is what I'm doing. Because I know some of you out there, that you could be connected with your family so tightly that they're in your world on a daily basis, or maybe you even live with your parents, or you take care of your parents if they can't take care of themselves, or whoever the case may be, and they're thinking that you're crazy, you're nuts for what you're doing, and they're always talking about it, and then they're talking about it to their friends, and you can hear them talking about their friends, and it'll be really irritating to you to hear this stuff. But you got to know, you got to let it go. Or even maybe you're with your spouse, or your significant other that you have a partnership with, and because of what you're doing on your spiritual journey, you're losing that connection with them, and they're thinking about breaking up with you because they just can't handle what the changes that are happening, or the decisions you're making to make those changes happen. And like I said, I just want you to be aware of this. Is some of the stuff, like I always say, you be aware of the stuff that's going to happen in your spiritual journey. I've seen this stuff before. That's why I'm talking about it, just to warn you, so you're not blindsided. Some of the stuff that I learned early on, I didn't have, some of these stuff I read or whatever didn't tell me that some of the experiences that I would have going through this that is very hard. It's like very hard to deal with. And since I've seen those experiences and known other people on spiritual journeys that had to deal with certain things, that's why I want to, let you know, so it's easier for you to deal with. Because some of that stuff, I didn't have any instructor or a YouTube video to watch back in the day to say, hey, you might go through this, just so you're aware, and don't think it's like because the stuff doesn't work. No, the stuff's happening because it is working. All the stuff that I talk about that you're dealing with, like the test and the universe and all that stuff, that is actually a good sign because you're on the right path. And you're like, Brandon, how can it be good? Like, I lost my partner. I thought he or she was the one. We were married. We had children. I'm homeless now. Or I'm living in a church. My buddy, I live in my buddy's church, the pastor. He lets me sleep in a cot in the back or whatever and take a shower. And then I go to work during the day, and I had to get rid of all my stuff. You're on the way. This is some of the stuff that happens, and it's brutal until you start raising your vibration, and the good things start happening more than the negative. And then you exponentially feel better and better. So all the bad stuff could be onslaughting you all at once, and you're like, where's the benefit to this? I'm not getting anything nice. I'm just getting slammed with bad stuff. It's just a phase, because once it passes and you pass those, those tests with using your spiritual practices, they'll go away, and then the good things will start flooding to you. Like a floodgates open, and you just get slammed with good things instead of bad. Because when you break down those barriers, it's an onslaught. But then the water, the floodgates open. But after the water settles, the plants start growing, and the flowers start growing, and the vegetables start growing. So you start bearing the fruits of your labor at that point. If that's a good analogy, I'm not sure if it is or not. But you get what I'm saying. But that's all I wanted to talk about today. As always, I greatly appreciate you guys watching my videos, and have a nice day.